Hey guys, welcome to another video. This one's a special one. I've been looking back on 2015 and I have compiled here a review of the survival games in that year. Now, since 2013, when DayZ Standalone was released in December, I have been following this genre intensely. Most of the games that I review here, in fact all of them, I have played in some shape or form, some for hundreds of hours, and DayZ Standalone for over 2,000 hours. I've watched them on Twitch and I've written about them for different websites. It's a really complex genre that has evolved. It had highs in 2014, and in 2015 to a certain extent we've seen a decline in the survival game genre. Why is this? I try and answer some of those questions in this review. I try to give an honest opinion. I've obviously played DayZ Standalone a lot more than the other ones, but the other games themselves I've played the content to death in as well. So hopefully what you see here, what you watch and listen to, is a constructive and positive review for the genre, and one that I hope will highlight a new game for you. And going into 2016, you can jump on the survival games genre and give it a good go yourself. Guys, I hope you find this video useful. I give a little bit of a disclaimer here. Anything that you find in this video that may potentially be slightly out of sync or in error, I do apologise for. I'm trying to cover a massive subject here. It is one very close to my heart, so I hope everything in this video is correct. If it isn't, give me a break. This is a massive thing I'm trying to do here, guys, so I hope you find it interesting. Let's start with DayZ Standalone. DayZ Standalone. DayZ Standalone has had a rocky ride in 2015 after a very successful 2014. The departure of Dean Hall saw the promotion of the already entrenched Brian Hicks and the Brian Teddy Bear, but potentially the inheritance of many in-game issues that they are still wrestling with, such as the renderer and optimization of the game, still remain a big problem. Much is promised from DayZ in 2016, but although this could be the ultimate zombie survival game, many now remain skeptical, and big changes to stability and in-game combat have to appear to win over those who have made the exodus. But this said, we still see tens of thousands of players flooding the servers on patch releases, and people just love talking about the game's potential. There seems no end in sight for DayZ development, even if they have laid down a roadmap with dates. But many who enjoy this process will be pleased about this, and ironically it may well hold people's engagement because of this. Although, when modders are released onto this fragile yet strangely robust game, we will see a new era of this, I have no doubt. It is fair to say that the ease at which hackers and script kiddies have been able to penetrate DayZ has been a huge disappointment, and some of this year's patches have taken steps backwards. But the latest 0.59 update has been a success, and I expect big things from DayZ Standalone in 2016. Ark Survival Evolved. One of the success stories of 2015 has to be Ark Survival Evolved, the dinosaur-populated prehistoric sci-fi mashup. This was the last of the super-hyped survival games of 2015, and although it was a slayer of frame rate, and still is to a certain extent, it is now a lot smoother and a much supported product. Its success has been reflected in the fact it has gone to console, and that a large team is still churning out sizable updates, sometimes weekly. Money has obviously been ploughed into this game, and many streamers and YouTubers given it their backing. The crafting system is deep, and the variety of dinosaurs is wide. This is supported by great game art and an awesome soundtrack. Taming of dinosaurs has been key and an enjoyable aspect of this game, and base building has also been a huge success. It combines this with gripping gameplay.
Ark feels like a finished product, and for this reason, potentially 2016 may be a stabilizing period, because on many levels the content put in it could be hard to eclipse. Rust. Rust has been on the survival game scene for a long time. Originally it had zombies, but in 2015 these were removed, wolves and bears introduced as the main enemy, and a new version launched. It is a game that has most evolved and arguably is stronger for it. It recognised that it occupied a different sector of the survival genre, that of the raid. Now this slick-looking, content-packed, hard-hitting, blood-racing game is more of a team deathmatch arena where raiding is key and taking down the enemy bases is a priority. It is a notoriously hard environment to exist in if you are a lone wolf, encouraging interaction and teaming. The new renderer is smooth and looks great, and the developers listened to their players. The community is strong and has the backing of a number of key YouTubers. It is a game that's ironed out its flaws to create an exhilarating experience, but it comes with a health warning. Few games will make you as salty as Rust, and the amount of time you need to commit to maintaining a base may well make you an addict. But that's not such a bad thing, is it? 7 Days to Die. 7 Days to Die has had a checkered past, but I feel this is one of the most underrated survival games on the market. The problem for 7 Days is that on its initial release, the number of bugs became too much, and it cost it a lot of credibility. But now, in 2015, we have seen the product tailored and fitted, and boy, does it have some great PvE action. One thing that 7 Days does well is hoarding, the zombie type of hoarding. When you have the zombie mass coming at you, the gaming experience is intense. The survival aspect is only highlighted by this. Originally, the blocky look of 7 Days to Die was also a distraction. But this has been refined, and if you can look beyond this aspect, even if it does stand out a touch, then you are in for a great time. The recent update to the UI shows the developers are totally engaged, and I see big things ahead for this game in 2016. Minecraft. Minecraft is Minecraft. It is one of the most popular games of all time. And now with the story mode released in 2015, would apparently seem to be unparalleled in popularity. It bridges the child-adult divide and has zombies. There is no end to its scope. Enough said. Stranded Deep. Stranded Deep arrived on the crest of a wave, no pun intended, when survival games were at their peak. With only a small development team, they were able to gift us with a beautiful game that's classy island survival concept. In the beginning it was popular, but perhaps failed to keep up with the demand on content, and players soon run out of things to do. Towards the end of 2015, a new renderer update was released, and now, if possible, it looks even better than before. Yet, the content is lacking, and the sharks potentially are not enough to constitute a thrilling enemy. Although I know that if they solve the content issues, I'll be back in a flash to this immersive game. I do know, though, that because they are a small development team, this could take some time. H1Z1. Again, H1Z1 is one of those games that appeared at a time that you could say was the height of the survival game genre, or potentially a second wave of survival games. Following DayZ Standalone's lead, it sought to create a zombie survival experience, but the launch was a disaster, with servers crashing and the mighty SOE underestimating the public's longing for the genre. Visually, the game did not come up to scratch, although the PlanetSide 2 engine it used was apparently smoother than some of the competition. But the big difference was their Battle Royale mode for the main game, which captured people's longing for PvP gameplay. The scale of this was impressive as it combined the larger map with a CSGO style combat experience. This adaptation was largely down to the gamer Unknown, who created a similar mod for Arma 3. After time and SOE's sale of the game, the graphics improved, and yet the focus remained on the Battle Royale and has never quite lived up to the survival game tag. Let's not forget though that this game is very successful and might lead others to replicating this format because of this. Miscreated. Miscreated has been in development for a few years now, and in 2015 the development team got their act together and produced a niche survival game set after World War III and overrun by mutants. Visually, this is one of the most immersive games apart from their working character, and because of the smallish map you are likely to run into other players pretty quickly. Initially, a few issues meant people abandoned this product, but the integrity of the small design crew has meant the servers are now stable and a hardcore community has established itself. For many, this game has gone under the radar, but it has so much promise that it should not be overlooked. There is a sense of originality with the mutant presence, and the world is rich with story. Once they get their character animation sorted, there could be big things coming from Miscreated, especially seeing their base building system is so slick and beautifully designed. The Forest. At the beginning of 2015, The Forest was very popular, although not a massive hit, and seized upon the horror genre by featuring crazed cannibals as the main enemy. Base building deep in the dark forest, coupled with a spooky AI, created a suspenseful atmosphere. But as the year moved forward, new content in regular patches seemed very samey, and the game dropped in popularity. The world of the forest is no doubt a beautiful render, but new content needs to inject something different, and maybe the solution here will be to open up this at times jump scare game to modders to bring back some of the past loyal supporters. The Long Dark. One of the most beautiful games in 2015 was The Long Dark. Its stylized graphics, beautiful landscape set in the snowy Canadian climes are impressive. But despite some great moments of survival and the stunning original UI, the game lacked content. It is a very immersive experience though, and well worth some time exploring. And in 2016, the story mode is being introduced, so there are good times ahead for The Long Dark. Subnautica. Because of its claustrophobic underwater environment, Subnautica is, like The Long Dark, a very immersive experience. It also looks amazing and has been championed by a couple of noteworthy YouTubers. Although it's an underwater game, it is strictly a sci-fi setting and has some engaging originality. But we have not seen a multiplayer game mode as yet, which could make this game absolutely massive. Empyrean Galactic Survival. This sci-fi game is well worth a mention, and although still quite alien in environment, has brought forth an interesting game concept. It's lacking a multiplayer aspect like Subnautica, but could evolve into a thriving community if the right moves are made. Unturned. Unturned has also had a major update in 2015 and is still a lot of fun, drawing upon its DayZ and Minecraft combination. There are issues with server stability and hackers though, so there's still more work to be done in the coming year. So how can we draw some conclusions from what I've gone over so far? Well, 2015 has seen some extreme highs and lows in this survival genre. In the latter end of the year, we saw less new releases, partly to do with the saturation of the survival game market and the reliance on big patches for the established games. What conclusions can we draw from the types of game within these subgenres though? We have seen the appearance of Hurt World recently, which is very much a base raiding game. And it's interesting that this seems to indicate that there are some other priorities for people buying into this market. This could include the Battle Royale mode that H1Z1 has been so successful with, and it seems like Miscreate is going to be introducing one of those, and there's also rumour that DayZ may well be thinking about this as well. Other types of things that are going on in the survival market also seem to indicate that they may be trying new things. For example, Reign of Kings has introduced an extreme customization of body form and an air of comedy. And Life is Feudal has taken crafting and skill sets into the realms of the strategy game. I look back to DayZ and I say that its pureness, the pure survival aspect of the game, which is devoid of base building, seems to have been its strength. The thought of surviving for hours, looting up and then facing somebody in combat is a nerve-wracking experience, the type of play which is hard to parallel in many other genres. We move into 2016 unsure of what's to come. What is the next big survival game? There are some indications that we may see a move towards exploration with No Man's Sky or Star Citizen, but this could be seen as a complete departure from the genre. 2015 has not seen the death of survival, but it has taught developers to tread more cautiously and make less promises because expectations are now much higher. And people's reactions to failures are much more aggressive and assertive, seeing the power now lies more and more with the players. Guys, I hope you found this video useful. There's lots of information here. If you've got any comments, if I've missed something out, please add it in down below. But do consider that I'm trying to do something here that is massive. Taking in the survival genre and trying to give an overview is a really difficult task, but I just hope that you've enjoyed watching this and that you found it interesting. Guys, thanks again, and I will see you in the next video.